So, ladies and gentlemen, if you look onto the battlefield, we can see a group of English Saxon infantry as they march forward to reconnoitre the ground. So let's have a cheer for the English! Now, these are freedmen, or feared men. They are not the professional soldiers. They've been sent out in front of the army to scout out the land, to find out where the enemy is. In all forms of warfare, intelligence is the most important thing. You need to know where your enemy is, and if possible, you want to shield your own army so the enemy does not know where you are. And this is exactly what Harold is doing here. He sent out a skirmish party of feared men, the lower class soldiers, and it's their job to find the Normans. If they get killed by the Normans, well, so be it. It doesn't matter. As long as they find them, and if at least one of them gets back, it gives the message. And if you look to the bottom of the hill, ladies and gentlemen, glinting in the sun, we can see the helm of a Norman knight, a Norman scout who is out looking for the English. So let's hear it for our Norman knight! So now both armies have found each other. The message goes back to William and to Harold that both the armies are advancing on Senlac Hill. So now, ladies and gentlemen, we can see two Norman knights just coming up the slope to have a look at the English, and we can see the English heavy infantry, the Huskarl, now marching onto the field. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for the English Huskarl! These are not part-time soldiers, they are the professional soldiers who are of the private household of either Harold or his great earls. And they are now marching onto Senlac Hill. And they will form themselves into a great shield wall that they will anchor to the top of this ridge, and then they will prepare themselves for the onslaught of the Norman army. You can see them there standing in close order, forming themselves up. The Normans, one of the knights is now going back to report the information to William. They have found the main English army. Bring all the troops here to Senlac Hill. The English Saxons are not afraid. They are confident that they have the better ground here and that they can easily defeat these Normans. So now, ladies and gentlemen, if you look to the Saxon shield wall, the English shield wall, you'll see that banner, that red and white banner of the fighting man. This shows us that Harold is now at Hastings. So let's hear it for Harold! The banner of the red and white fighting man is Harold's personal banner. Wherever that banner is where Harold is where your king is standing in the battle line. We can see Harold's soldiers giving him a cheer as they form up. Now these men have marched hard and fast. They've ridden hard and fast all the way from York. They've got here in 10 days, which is amazing for 1066. But they are not as numerous as they would like to be, and they are also already tired. So tired, and their ranks are depleted. But they have the advantage of ground. They are holding the high ground. They are holding the high ground that the Normans must take. if the Normans are going to break through and march on London. And if they can hold the high ground and maintain the high ground, then more English reinforcements will arrive day upon day. Whereas there are no more Norman reinforcements, all of the Normans are here now. So it is a game of time for the English army just to hold the ground, and then they will win. We can see Harold is now forming his army into a great shield wall with the banner of the white fighting man on the red background in the centre of the shield wall, where the king should be. Now this will show the different way of fighting between the Normans and the Saxons, but we will hear more of that later. Now we can see the English fully forming up. Huscarl, household troops of the great lords, they are wearing mailed shirts, many of them have kite-shaped shields. In fact, they look like Normans. Very hard to tell who is still on the battlefield. Huscarl will stand in the front rank. The feared men will then form the ranks behind them, maybe with some archers, some bowmen at the rear, lobbing arrows over the heads of their comrades in front into the advancing enemy ranks. So now the great English shield wall is in place. Around 6,000 English warriors, mainly professional soldiers, Huscarl, but they are supported by some local men, some feared men who come and join them for the battle here at Hastings. So ladies and gentlemen, will you once again give a huge round of applause for your king and the English army? Go lads. We can see Harold now marching up and down the front of his ranks, showing his banner to his soldiers, and they are shouting out, God wins son! God wins son! So ladies and gentlemen, will you shout with me? God wins son! 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 This was one of the battle cries of the Saxon English army, but there was a far more older cry, which was a very short Saxon word, ut, which means out. And we now see some Norman infantry marching onto the field. So the Saxons will be shouting, ut, 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 ut.
Where's the Norman infantry? Oh look, there they go, look.
Deploying his soldiers here at the bottom of Senlac Hill. The first group of soldiers that we see marching onto the field in William's army, these aren't even Normans. They are people that have been conquered by the Normans. They are Bretons. So ladies and gentlemen, let's have a very respectful English round of applause for the Bretons. Bretons were the first troops to deploy on the battlefield. But the English, very wisely, do not take advantage that they outnumber the Bretons, because this is what William wants. He wants the English to come down from the hill and attack. But Harold very wisely ignores this provocation and anchors his shield wall to the top of the hill. So we now have some Norman archers and crossbowmen, ladies and gentlemen. So let's have a big round of applause for